Welcome to Spirit's Freedom Farm. Today we're going to lime wash the chicken coop and give you a bit of a tour in the process. Our chicken coop is a concrete block building that was existing on the property when we purchased it, and over the years it had collected a lot of trash and junk and filth really. We filled several garbage cans with all of the yuck that we shoveled out and then hosed out the building. We leveled off the floor in a few spots with some concrete, lined the entire roof with hardwire mesh to protect the chickens, and then divided a section off for the chickens themselves. We used some new wood, some chicken wire, as well as some old wood from a barn that was unsafe that we had to tear down. We also added a ceiling on this side, also to protect the chickens. We put in some roosting bars, which were 2x4s with the wide side facing up, and some nesting boxes. Originally they were a 1-foot cube, but some of our larger chickens didn't like those close quarters. So we ended up taking out the middle on each side. So we ended up with 2 nesting boxes. And really, chickens only ever use 2 nesting boxes no matter how many you have. As you can see, this isn't the first year that we've lime washed the chicken coop. We try to do it every year if we can. It will wear off over time, especially in high traffic areas, and more so where the chickens are running around with their nails, scratching it up. We have one side which we use to store straw and sawdust and feed for the chickens. And we have some original windows in the building which are nice for ventilation. But as you can see, over the course of a year, dust and dirt and smudges and things build up. We have in this building, there's some plumbing, which we're not really sure what it was used for before the building was used for, but the plumbing isn't hooked up to anything, but we just haven't removed it, so. And you can see the dirt on the floor. Chickens are really dirty animals, frankly. They're very dusty. Not to mention the cobwebs. There's another of our finds. We repurposed a screen door to divide up the chicken coop from the rest. And here you can see the ceiling and the walls there. The dust is even on the seams between the blocks. And the ramps up to their roofs get very scratched up. And then the floor. I think chickens just spend their entire night pooping while they sleep. It's such a mess under the roosting bar. It gets so gross. So it's nice to give it a fresh coat when we can, especially in those spots. But we try to do the entire coop. And the little ramp up to their window, which we rebuilt. There's the ramp outside of that window that goes down into their run. And that has not yet been lime washed, but we're going to do that this year. But we had to rebuild their little window so it would open in a way they can get out. First, we like to pressure wash all of the dirt off. It gives a clean surface, but the moisture also provides a place for the lime wash to adhere. It's much better to do it with a moist surface to begin with. So we hose it all off really well. And we keep the chickens out of the coop or away from the building. Lime wash is wonderful. It is non-toxic. It seals out moisture and helps with bugs. But it is caustic while it's wet. So it's a good idea to do it on a day that is not too cold and not too wet, so it'll dry in time for you to get everybody back inside. Now, to make lime wash is very easy. It's simply a mixture of water and construction lime, which is very cheap. You want to mix it to the consistency of maybe a thin pancake batter. If you get it thicker, it won't dry as easily or as quickly, but you can always put on multiple layers. If you're going for more of an antique whitewashed look, you can make it thinner and the surface that you're painting will show through more. So we do the inside, the outside, and it makes it look so nice and fresh and clean. And there we are. You can hardly tell that the chickens were in there before. And the panels that we put up at the end of the roosting bars to give them a little insulation finally got a coat there. There's the window we built. And there's Agatha, our little chicken. She's our people chicken. She loves people in the nesting box. Fresh straw, food, waterer. What you didn't see is a double bowl mineral feeder there that we put shells for calcium as well as grit for digestion there for them. And there's one of our coop kitties. They're barn cats, but we don't have a barn for them to live in, so they live in the coop. And we have our bales of straw that we use for bedding. And we keep all of our feed and so forth in metal cans in order to help keep the mice out. And, well, honestly, it's helped keep raccoons out as well. And then our little kitties have a litter box up there they can use while they're out there. For at night when they're all locked in, we like to keep them safe from the coyotes as well. Their ramp was lime washed, and this is their run. We can close them in this part when we need to keep them safe, but we do have flexible fencing that we can expand to allow the chickens a much larger area to roam. And we rebuilt the run and added this little patio just outside their window and enclosed all of that. That even has a little roof. And that's just to keep them safe all the time so that raccoons can't get in. The run itself is made from welded wire fencing and wooden posts. And we put a tarp over the top of it because the top is also the fencing. And the tarp provides some dryness during the rainy seasons, so they don't have to stand out in the rain and get wet if they don't want to. So Limewash does have a lot of benefits. It is much cheaper than paint, just as easy to use, and non-toxic, though it is caustic when it's wet, and it will stick to your clothes like paint, so beware of that. And it makes a nice, very pretty white finish. It makes everything clean, and the white helps to lighten up inside, so if it is a little bit dark in there, the light can still be reflected. We'd love to hear what you have done with your chicken coop.
Please visit the blog post linked in the video description below for more information about this video and the supplies used.